What's up everybody, it's Zane. Today we're doing Grom Stunt vlog number 2. Another important aspect of wheeling, and that is slowing down your wheelie. By this point in your wheelie game, you want to know how to pop it up basically as fast as you can and slow it down with your rear brake. So once you start catching yourself and you start riding out, you start controlling your wheelies, riding out your rear brake, that's at that point you're pretty much ready to start learning slowing them down. I mean, I guess you're ready to start learning it if you know, if you can do some wheelies. But assuming you can do some wheelies, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna basically pop it up as fast as we can. We're gonna catch ourselves with our rear brake. If you don't know the basics of using rear brake in a wheelie, watch my first video in the description. So basically, step number 1 is going to be pop it up as fast as you can. Catch yourself, and then instead of just, you know, modulating that rear brake and throttle, basically ride out your rear brake. So just be as light as you have to be on your rear brake, but just ride it out. So basically, what you want to do is not move your throttle hand as much. Just get used to the feeling and the smoothness of like the consistency of the wheelie when you rear brake. Because basically, I'm gonna pop it up, but I'm gonna be riding the rear brake the entire time, and you'll see like how smooth it can be. So that was just rear brake the entire time. Once you get comfortable with riding them out, basically have it like riding on your brake, you'll realize what I mean, because your wheelies are just going to be so smooth. The modulation versus like no rear brake throttle, it's going to be trickier to catch. With the rear brake, it's basically like you're pivoting a really long arm, and it's just very controllable. It's not going to jerk around like that. So I got it up, I slowed it down, and then I pretty much had my foot on the brake until I came down. Step 2, after you get used to riding the rear brake, you're gonna throw up your wheelie, you're gonna catch yourself with your rear brake, but what you're gonna do now is your throttle hand is gonna be steady. Your rear foot, however, if you wanna bring yourself higher, you're gonna pop off the rear brake, and you'll catch yourself. Here's what I mean. So every time I bounce back a little bit in that clip, that's when my foot was off the rear brake. And basically, to slow them down, you're just gonna get them up to balance point, and it's really just going to be a lot of rear brake action. I'm going to do the same thing as the previous clip, but now, step 3, I'm basically going to have that wheelie past balance point. And the only way to really get comfortable with doing that is to just keep popping up wheelies, slowly hitting the brake until you get higher, brake higher and higher. Eventually, with enough practice, you're going to get them real high and then have so much rear brake action that you're going to come down. But it'll feel nice. It'll feel like really crazy. So now watch my speedometer, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get it past balance point, and I'm gonna basically keep riding the brake, and then that'll really slow me down until either the wheelie's constant or you just come down. So slowing down wheelies is basically a combination of hitting that rear brake when you're really high up in the wheelie. But it's also a good way to practice getting really high up in the wheelie, because you can just, like, once you get to this level, you can just let off the brake basically and just kind of come up to super high balance point very smoothly. At that point, it's all going to be practice. So you pop up, you catch yourself, and then you ride that rear brake to slowly let you keep doing more wheelie. Rear rear brake, rear brake, rear brake. Oh, 13. Oh, 12. Got 12 that time. That might be a personal best. Once you're up there going that slow, if you're right at balance point but you have good brake control, it doesn't feel scary at all. It doesn't feel like you're basically at the tipping over point, which is where a lot of people fuck up when they're learning their wheelies, right? You get to that point too fast, you freak out. When you slow them down, good brake control, you're getting it up high, and then it's like you're physically just holding yourself there. It's like you're glued into a nice, you know, angle of wheelie. That time I wasn't high enough to have the brake become fully effective, because if you're like here, right, just below balance point, if you start using your rear brake, you're going to be coming down. When you're at balance point, you use that rear brake, that's where you just like hold a really slow position of wheelie. The faster you pop it up, the easier it is. Got it down to 11 that time. Alright guys, it's getting dark. Mixing out. Like, subscribe, comment. Later.